Hello, welcome. I'm glad you're here. This is the second time I'm actually recording this. In my efforts to be productive, efficient, and be able to spend time with my family over the holidays, I recorded my January TBR early, not accounting for the fact that maybe some of my library books would be due. So 3 of my books that I picked for the TBR for January, I had to return to the library. So we are going to redo it. So as you can see, I have many stacks right here. Oh, and I'm going to apologize in advance. My chair that I'm on really creaks. I'm going to try not to move. All right, so I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stacks. You'd think I could figure that out on my own. I have 6 stacks. This one right here are my have-tos. So we're going to go through these first. I'm going to take my glasses off because I put them on because they match my sweater, but I don't actually wear my glasses in the house very often. It's harder for me to read with them on. So didn't plan that one very well. All right, so I actually started The Bright Years a couple weeks ago. The audiobook was due and was returned. A few days later, the physical book came in. So I've read the first 3 chapters, I think. I have it coming in any day now on audio. I'm going to continue on. This is a story of a married couple who they're struggling. I think their marriage is struggling a little bit. And then her son, she gave up a baby for adoption before she had met her husband. He shows up. Something like that. Not entirely sure. So The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff. Also on audio, I have Mary Alice Monroe's Where the Rivers Merge, a novel. This is, I think it's a multi-generational, I'm not sure. I know we follow Eliza. We'll meet her relatives throughout. So it starts in 1908, it ends in 1988, and it's her, I think, struggling to keep her land and her family together. Something like that. I have this book in my fantasy stack, but I have to read it now because it's due in just a few days, basically. So I need to start. And this is All She Ever Wanted by Sarah Lombardo. I love this cover. All I know about it is that she's writing to an infamous pirate, Captain Copson. And I think they fall in love through the letters. This is a middle grade graphic novel, Ink Girls. And I'm not even going to try to say the author's name. I'll put it up. I have a couple books by this author here. I have 20 middle grade novels, including this one, and 22 adult novels from the library. All of those from the library. So that's why I need to read more of these. Even though I need to read more of these, I need to read more of these. Okay. Anyway, Ink Girls is a middle grade graphic novel. Should be quick. There's a girl who's apprenticing to be with a printer. He has been arrested for printing the truth, and she wants to continue. She gets help from the king's daughter. It's not due or anything, but this is actually my first classic that I'm going to read, and that's Jane Austen's Lady Susan because, Susan, obviously. And then this one is a have-to because it's Catherine Center, What You Wish For. My daughter reads Catherine Center, and this one sounded good for both of us. So we're going to read this in January. It's a woman who is a school librarian. Her ex-boyfriend from many years ago has suddenly become the principal, and she's like, I don't really want him around as my boss, but he'll be really good for the school. Only the ex-boyfriend that shows up is not at all the same person. And so I'm just really intrigued. It sounds really good. The other books I have that are have-tos is Sweet Bean Paste, which is a translated work, and I have that on audio. That's that stack. This is enough all on its own. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. This is 6 books right here. This is ridiculous that I'm even considering picking out more books. Now, most of those are going to be audio. I'm going to set those aside. Most of those will be audio, so that should work. 2 of them will not. So, of course, I need to pick more books. The thing is, all of these books, I want to read all of these, and I want to read them all now, right? That's the whole, so many books, so little time. Let's do these since they're right in front of me. I'll do my physical TBR. Those were all library. Let's do my physical TBR. Like I said, I want to read all of these. And I'm not doing a jar or anything. I'm just kind of going through. I made stacks last night, and these are all books that I really want to read, and I'm going to go with my feeling of what I want to read right now. The Whisper Wicks, The Labyrinth of Lost and Found by Jordan Lees. 11-year-old Benjamin Creek believes in science, logic, and the power of reason. He definitely does not believe in magic. I think he's going to change his mind. Saw this, I had to get it. I read the back. It sounded good at the time. I even bought the second book. So that's option one. Harriet the Spy is also an option. I really just want to know. This is one of those books that characters have read and I haven't. This book, Anne Downer's Hatching Magic, has been on my TBR 3 or 4 times and I never did get to it. I thought it was about a dragon, but really it's about a wyvern. There we go. Anna James Chronicles of Weatherwide, The Age of Enchantment. It's just so pretty and it's got such good flop and lovely sprayed edges and just, is that a reason to pick a book? This one, Between Shades of Grey, I don't know how to say the author's name, but I recognize her name and that she is a well-liked author. Very much so. This takes place in Lithuania, 1941. 15-year-old Lena is preparing for art school and looking forward to summer when in the dark of night there's a knock at her door and Soviet secret police arrest Lena and her mother and her younger brother. So this was on my reading list for either last December or last January because it looks like winter on the cover. In my 26 in 26 videos, the 26 books to read in 2026, I used this book as a stand-in for a dragon book in general, but I think I kind of want to read this one. I just love this cover. I've had it absolutely forever. So one of these needs to be, and this one is technically young adult. I need to pick one of these and I really just don't know what, I'm really drawn to this, but I have that other stack. This one I think I can get on audio, so I'm kind of drawn to this. I'm so torn on all of these. I really just want to read all of these. I think I'm going to try Hatching Magic. I'm being pulled to Hatching Magic. I want to give this one a try. So there we go. Hatching Magic. I'm going to set it down here, move the stack out of the way. Shall I do middle grade again? Let's do middle grade. These are library books. Frostheart is on, this is Voyage of Frostheart, is on the top of my list of books I really want to read. But again, it's big. It's got a lot of pictures, so not too worried there. This is also Pie in the Sky, like tops of my list of what I want to read. This would also be super quick. It has a lot of white space and a lot of artwork. Drawn to that. And then Boom has such a high rating. I don't remember what it is, but it's north of 4.5. So also very quick. It's inverse. So that makes it very quick right there. And then my graphic novel, How to Talk to Your Succulents. I talked to my succulents and that's why I picked it up. I haven't even read the back. This is a book that I have multiple lists. Not only do I have this, but I have obviously on Goodreads, I have a list in my library, attached to my library card. And Aliens on Vacation by Clete Barrett Smith has been on my list for years. Just absolutely years. But I'm going to say no, it is not time to read this one. It just looks super cute, but I'm going to pass that one up. What Happens When the Hero Fails? This is also a graphic novel, A Song for You and I by Kay O'Neill. This one's also going to be due fairly soon, so this is a high contender. And it's LGBTQIA+, which would be really nice. So that's a strong contender. That one's newer. This one's not that new, but I'm gonna wait on Succulent. So then do I go with with probably a really good graphic novel, a very highly rated book, a book I've heard talked about in other books, but also very quick. Frostheart, I really want to read Frostheart, but I'm gonna set that aside. Okay, so now we're down to 3. I do think that Song for You and I is going to be due soon, and I don't think anybody has read this. Look at that. If whoever read it only read the first few pages. So I'm going to pick that one. I'm happy with that. I really want to read these two also. Okay, 3 more stacks. This is my physical TBR, and I picked out Orphan Train by Christina Baker Klein, another book I've had for absolutely years. This is about the kids, they would end up in orphanages in New York or somewhere along the East Coast, and they would stick them on an orphan train. The train would make multiple stops along on its way to the West, and people would come and shop for kids to have them. And usually they ended up being like farmhands and not really adopted. This has been on my shelves for years. Just something I've always been interested in. Taylor Jenkins Reid, Daisy Jones and the Six, I think is not time. I'm looking at this stack and I'm like, yeah, it's probably not time. Oh, but I really, really want to read Grammar School PTA. I so want to read this. And I love the sprayed edges on it. Okay, that one's a maybe. And then this wasn't supposed to be in October. This is Wake by Lisa McMahon. It's about a girl, Janie, who gets sucked into other people's dreams. Like, so when you're dreaming that you're running late and you accidentally step off the curb kind of thing, she lives that experience. And it just sounds really good, and it looks like it would be a really fast read. Okay, these are two older books. I've mentioned a couple times that I had Book of the Month Club when I was like in middle school and high school. And this is actually from way back then. Miss Gathercole's Girls by Judy Gardner. I looked it up on Goodreads and it actually has a good rating. It's got terrible old font. I think that one's gonna, because again, I'm looking at this stack and I'm gonna have to wait. And then, because I roughly dedicated this year, 2026, to my mom, I put on Irma Bombeck's Motherhood, the Second Oldest Profession. I'm a little bit nervous because it is old. It's like from the 70s, I think. And I'm worried that it hasn't aged well and that as a mother that I may not like it. I loved it as a teenager. I thought it was funny. But this would be a super quick read. I'd hate to put this off one more time. This one can wait. Orphan Train, I've had it for a decade now. It can wait. I'm going to go for this one. I've been wanting to read this. I've only ever seen one person put it on their TBR and I never saw a review of it. So I can't even say it today. Okay. This stack gets pushed away. Okay. These two stacks. This is Just Fantasy. And these are other library books that I have that I want to read. This one was on my original list when I originally did this video. I don't know anything about it. I saw somebody review it or say they were going to read it, and I'm like, oh, that sounds good. Sorcerer to the Crown by Zen Cho. I'll put an image up here somewhere because the cover is stunning. You probably can't see it very well from the book, but it is just super pretty with that dragon in there. But again, don't know anything about it. I really want to read this. Keeper of Magical Things by Julie Leong. She wrote the Teller of Small Fortunes, which I absolutely loved. And this has nice floppability on that one. Plus, I want to read this. I've had this for a really long time. India Holton's The Ornithologist's Field Guide to Love. Now, I haven't heard a lot of great things about this. Like, very meh for some. The second book seems to be more popular. So I want to read this, and it does appeal to me, and I've had it for a really long time. And then this one is just a stunning cover. Higher Magic by Courtney Floyd. Super pretty. Again, I probably heard somebody talking about it and put it on hold, and I know nothing about it anymore. I like that it says some stories make their own magic. So I am not sure what I want to do, but I think these two have priority in my mind, and I'm going to go with this. I probably knew that ahead of time. The Keeper of Magical Things, I'm hoping will be a quick read. Some of the chapters are super short. There we go. Make another stack, move that out of the way. We're on to our last stack of books. This is going to be insane. Okay, this is very much tops of my list. The Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen by K.J. Charles. It's an MM romance, Regency England. I love it. That just sounds, I love Regency. Okay, I literally saw this at Target and I'm like, okay, I'll put it on hold at the library. I know nothing about it. The Raven Boys by Maggie, I don't know how to say the last name. Graphic novel. It says #1 best-selling author. It was a regular novel, I guess. I don't know. I had never heard of it. Let me know if you've heard of it, if you've read it, the novel, or even the graphic novel. But I have a couple graphic novels already, so that one, okay. This one can wait. I saw this and I got distracted. The Secret Book Society is one of those books that was a finalist in the Goodreads Choice Awards. But I also just got this one, so I'm going to set that one aside. That one is by Madeline Martin. So that one, as much as I really, really want to read that, it can wait. The Sicilian Inheritance by Jo Piazza is a young woman who goes to Italy and learns about her grandmother, basically. So I think it's going to be a dual timeline, multi-generational kind of thing. I'm not sure. It sounds really good. It's big, and I don't know if I can get it on audio, and I have a big stack. So it's down to these two. See, I don't have a romance. So I have two other books that are kind of a multi-generationally type book. Is that a word, multi-generationally? I'm going to go for a romance. So yeah. Though, I mean, there's romance in the other ones, I'm sure. But this one is a straight up romance. Wow. Okay. That's not a bad stack. I'm going to put that there. Still a lot of books. I have Sweet Bean Paste on audio. Catherine Center, What You Wish For on audio. Where the Rivers Merge by Mary Alice Monroe on audio. The Bright Years by Sarah Damoff on audio. I have a middle grade graphic novel that's due any day now. I have a fantasy romance, so I guess a romantasy, you could say that, by Sarah Lombardo, All She Ever Wanted, which I will have to physically read because I don't think that one's out on audio. Jane Austen Lady Susan is my classic that I'm reading for the month. It's a super short one, which I am really grateful for. Because Susan. So there's that stack. Secret Lives of Country Gentlemen by K.A. Charles, a Regency romance. Keeper of Magical Things by Julie Leong is a cozy fantasy. Grimoire Grammar School Parent Teachers Association by Caitlin Rozakis. I have a lot of fantasy in this. A Song for You and I by Kay O'Neill, graphic novel, middle grade. Middle grade fantasy is Hatching Magic by Ann Downer. Not enough of my own physical TBR, but I won't have time to stick another one in. So there we go. What should I prioritize? I'm going to need help from you guys. Tell me what to do here. Whew, that's a list. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So 12 or 13 books. I guess that's not that bad. Ooh, that makes me want to pick out more, but I've got to stop. I need to stop. Okay, thank you for hanging out with me. I really appreciate it. I'll see you next time. Bye. Where to even start?